I'm Lex Levy. Today we're here at the Dendera Temple Complex.
This is
So here is the complete from moon. Make the carpet.
And here's a replica of the Dendera zodiac. Okay, so I found something pretty interesting. There are columns under this foundation.
No, no, it's a foundation. It's the other building down.
Yeah.
The older layers comes down.
I found some more Dendera lights. Take a look. It's incredibly soft material. They look Mesoamerican. This looks like Naboo.
very unusual series of hieroglyphs here. I've never seen this.
Let's go. I'm Lex Levy. Today we're here at the Dendera Temple Complex. I'm here with my husband Geoffrey Drumm from the Land of Chem.
What's up?
And we're going to investigate the anomalous features of this temple, such as the Dendera zodiac, the melted staircase, the Dendera light bulbs, the sanctuary, the sacred lake, and we're going to see if we can find any evidence if this temple is built upon an older structure. Come with me. Let's go.
If you want to help support our research and expeditions, grab some merch from the new Archaeo.alchemy store. Rock the classic logo in your favorite color combination with some beautiful alchemical prints. There are hats, mugs, hoodies, shorts, tanks, and tapestries. More designs are in the works, so stay tuned. And if you want to be the lifeblood of my channel, please become a member for early access, exclusive updates, and content. Thank you all so much. Now, back to our adventure.
This is the true pilot, the entrance. If you will look to my right hand side, you see the king do offering to the nethers. to the other side, you can see symbols. Symmetry, unification between upper and lower. You can see Ankh, symbol of life, and the two stick. And down you can see the dish. This is symmetry, upper and lower Egypt. Why he put reliefs here and put symbols to the other side? It is so easy, because here we had a gate, wooden gate. And when they're gonna open the gate, they don't want to hide any reliefs behind. Reliefs of the methods. That's why he put symbols at that place. On the other side we can see the King Ptolemy with the methods. Ceiling, you can see beetle, scarab, winged one, and sun disk, two snakes, two wings. The sun with the two snakes and wings, they are unification between Ra and Horus on the horizon. We
try to scrub out the lower room. Well, the top ones are, and then try to scrub out the lower room.
Only difference between ISIS and Hathor. So it is very holy places, so people like the late period, they use those places to carry their bodies here. The name of Hathor. Here we can see it clear. This is the and the falcon inside. This is Old Head Hathor, the house of they do nothing actually. Sometimes we have to remember not that very Now, something that gives you attention actually, those damaging beliefs. Well, yeah, this is the early Christians in Egypt. When Egyptians want to follow Jesus, they were shouted out. Because the official religion was those god and goddesses during the Roman time. So, Egyptians hide inside the temples and tombs. Just to prove that you don't have any relation with those lizards around. And to stop their magic as well, they defaced it or put plaster around. But when Constantine started to follow Osiris, that was at 250 AD, Egypt became a Christian empire following Rome, so they stopped actually damaging their beliefs and started to build their own religions. So that rule, known as the Pyramid Rule. Usually the kings during the new era, we're going to see at the ground, actually, we're going to see Alexander forever. If they don't have rights to get the throne of Egypt, they can eat in the ground. But Greco-Roman, they are already foreigners. So they will not talk about their families. But they're going to talk about the birth of the falcon. Because the kings, they are the followers, or they are the mirror of the falcon. Why especially the birth of the falcon? Because it was a big drama. Maybe at Babylon you're going to hear some of this drama, and later time at it we're going to continue it. Because it was like a very hard time for the Isis to give birth. to avoid Seth, the one representing the white and the evil. So it was a big drama actually. That's why each king during that time making a whole book and talk about the birth of the Pharaoh. So the whole baby's figures you see around, it's a representation of the Pharaoh. Horus.
So this one here.
Guys. There's all sorts of graffiti, temple crosses. And I found some more Dendera lights. Take a look. And here's Bess, protector of children. Saba. This is the Temple of Hathor. And you can see her depiction on the top of each column, still pigmented. She's the patron cow deity and represents maternity, love, beauty, sensuality. She is the consort of Ra and mother of Horus.
nilometer? So we could walk down there. There's probably a bunch of that down there. But it goes straight down to the water table. And it was used to kind of...
Here's a nilometer.
Sacred purification rituals because there are stairs descending down into the sacred lake. Typically these rituals were before you enter the temple, you had to undergo the ritual of purification. So they most likely came in here, did a ritual purification bathing ceremony in the water, which is the same problem at the Pyramid of El Lahoun in the, or not El Lahoun, and there's no effective way to pump it out because the water block off that canal. And, yeah.
Yeah. It's like in the middle of it, the labyrinth, right? Above it?
Correct. So unfortunately, whatever is still in Hawara it's completely underwater below the sand.
Right.
Oh. As I mentioned before, that somehow Goddess
Wow,
Hathor
look at that picture.
connected to the Goddess Isis. So those are the places or the chapels of the Goddess Isis. Unfortunately, they are closed. Unfortunately, it still has the most beautiful reliefs of Hathor just in front of you. That's not
Can I put that symbol right there? That's what Holger says. It's like counting, basically counting columns.
Interesting. So we'll also see that in the windows, in the staircase, where it's literally representing the rays and radiation of the sun coming into the temple. So those represent light rays, which clearly that's an aperture to bring light into the structure.
Right.
But they're really beautiful as you walk up the staircase because the sun will be coming through those apertures.
Right.
So you can literally see where they got that inspiration from the radiation of the sun coming through. If you look at the lion-headed fixtures,
Wow. Shukran. Is that-
of the roots. So you see they have little channels coming out from the paws of the lion. That comes from channels on the roof. So now going back to the pyramid of Sabure, they also found these same lion-headed spouts at the the proposition that the channel network is also
Sagen nicht Kelio, sagen nicht 2 Konsonanten. Wir sind eine ägyptische Sprechen, sagen Kelio fast. Aber guckt mal. Kelio, das ist Nummer 7. 7 Königinnen hatten den gleichen. War nicht nur eine. Die berühmteste, die 7. Schaut mal hier. Mit ihrem Sohn.
But if you look at these blocks here, they're very much
Zwei Namen
rectangular
Schaut mal hier, das
and
sind
not
Doppelgänger.
interlocking.
Sie gehen alle Opfergaben. Sie beten
So in my opinion, there's some different layers to this temple as well. And we'll see that. Isn't this the one where you can see the columns below the floor? Here. So we'll see that when we go inside, that there's a room where the paving stones of the floor have been removed. And you can see the tops of columns below the floor, which means that there's
Eine andere kleine Kapelle. Hinter ihnen so berühmte Wir gehen noch weiter, aber nicht durch den gleichen Weg. Langsam, die Wohnungen waren da.
some erosion here where it had fallen down. So perhaps there were some metal channels, or like we have a gutter system at your house where this was possibly connected into a gutter that then drained it somewhere else.
What about this specific thing? And then we use it for heating.
Eine Minute, dann gehen wir weiter, aber bitte eine wichtigere Stellung. Kurz in der Sonne und braun zu werden, wie alle sieht, dann gehen wir weiter. Dann werden die braun nicht. So weiter bitte. Was wichtig ist, dass Sie ein Foto machen von diesem sogenannten Dekoren. Überall werden die Dinge
Alexa was mentioning that recently, that in the hieroglyphic names, that's how long they get, even longer than that.
Longer than that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Makes you feel even more that they're alchemy encoded. It's like always women presenting alchemy. You guys, women. And then you have Horus up there. Falcon. With the double crown.
The sun and the rays.
That was queen there. Okay. These are so pretty. I see, these are pretty well executed.
Like, this is different than like the plasma, right? Because it's not completely encased.
Yeah, that's it. It's without the jig pillar too.
Yeah. I guess
That's
that's
still a
interesting.
water symbol, though, isn't
Yeah, I'm just interested in why it has the.
Have the frame around it?
Yeah. Because this one's just like.
Cece?
Yes, there. It looks like they had some babies. So as we come around the front of the temple, you'll see these huge column pillars that have the face of Hathor. And these support the entire infrastructure of the temple. This is also connected to a musical instrument known as the sistrum. And the sistrum almost always has the face of Hathor on it. So in my opinion, there's a connection between Hathor, sound, and music that is intended to be integrated into the temple.
Here's the guardian of the Temple of Hathor. Can see the 7 cells or 7 gates. It's looking very much like Kasar Saga.
Isn't there also something called Earth shine, where the Earth actually provides some of the light as well, like it bounces, the sun bounces the light off the Earth onto the main. Yeah, I think something like that.
So we found that at the pyramid sites, they are guarded by dogs, but typically all of the temples are protected by cats.
That's bad.
Yes.
Nice kitties.
They're
Clean
sweet.
too.
You're doing such a great job. I think this one's Cece. Mother.
Look at the structure from the perspective of a temple of initiation. The priest could guide the initiate through the entire temple and illustrate and explain the extensive knowledge of the situation in the process of that initiation ritual, where they were being conducted and instructed into different parts of the ancient Egyptian mystery school.
Who takes, Jeff, the present of painting 16 chapel?
Michelangelo.
Michelangelo.
Yeah.
It's just to paint 16 chapel. Now you're going to use your imagination. So imagine how could the workers make the carving up to the ceiling, which position they need.
The state of preservation in the temple is extremely impressive. You can look at diagrams all day.
Understand literally what those signs means. No one able to understand it. No one. All you see, it's like the snake with 2 hands and 2 legs. What does it mean? No one can see. It's all about the zodiac.
So easily find a nice corner of this temple, like a blanket, a little pillow, and just fall asleep to the sound of the birds.
Oh, I love that.
Okay, above me direct you can see Iris. And then the back. Imprecise mathematics that are incorporated, but theirs is based on 360 being the degrees of a perfect circle.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
360.
Yeah.
I think if you follow those.
From different mineral compounds, which is the reason why, you know, it's possible.
First area of interest, we're going to investigate through this first
Some others believe that the blue color has an organic phase, which is easy to become black.
This one, I felt bad. I was like, oh, let's have a cigar, but they went through so much effort. And then you can see like a falcon hunting the entire structure, encompassing the entire zodiac. Yeah, so this is 1/2 So here is the complete full moon.
We are bringing one day.
Above me is the lunar calendar. A cycle of 14 days. Here, the moon is depicted as a mirror and the eye of Horus. You can see the deacons here. The solar cycle is 180 days. Pretty spectacular. Above me Above me is one of the zodiacs of Dendera, and you can see the goddess Nut arcing over the Above me is one of the zodiac of Dendera. Above me is one of the zodiacs of Dendera, and you can see the goddess Nut arcing over the primordial waters in each of the zodiacs. There's Scorpio, the Scorpion, the scales for Libra, and the Leo, and the Lion for Leo, and the Lion for Leo, and the woman with the star overhead that represents Sirius. Above me is one of the Dendera zodiacs, and you can see the god Nut arcing over the primordial waters. See each of the zodiac. Scorpion for Scorpion. The scales for Libra. The Lion for Leo. And the woman with the star that represents Sirius.
The entire structure encompassing the entire zodiac. Yeah, so this is one half of the year and then the other, so it's like half of the zodiac here and half of the zodiac on the other side. But they believe that the entire celestial realm was the abode of the sky goddess Nut, which is why she surrounds all of that. A celestial sphere. Yeah, they're all the woman piece is the big piece because the cow piece is a bit more high. We are bringing one day. This one on the left is known as the laboratory. And I'm sure it would be really unheard of. By the way, you should really take these samples of walls and stuff. So here, no. Not been able to do that.
Oh, restoration. That's nice.
But I want to make sure. Museum. We found that huge basin artifact right? That was clearly a basin or a tub, but it was shaped like a cartouche with nothing in it.
Yes, I remember that.
Which I was describing that the chemical or whatever liquid was being placed inside the basin was the impetus for the cartouche itself. So by putting something in that basin, you were literally adding a name into the cartouche. So if you look here, at the bottom level, the cartouche is empty.
This temple is in a great state of preservation. There has been some defacement. This first chamber is known as the laboratory. Let's take a look.
Good man. Yes, that's a good tour. I'll take it.
So we just took a look inside of this chamber.
This first chamber is known as the laboratory. Thought to be for the creation of perfumes. We'll see what we find depicted with the glyphs. Here's a housing for a door.
They are all still empty.
That shaft was original depth, isn't it?
Oh, the one at the top?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are light apertures, and we'll see those all throughout the structure where they just brought light into the chamber itself. So you'll see here, this guy looks like he's offering a steaming bowl of something. So there's a hot solution of some sort.
Yeah, you're right.
We see a lot of snake imagery.
A cobra.
And it looks like in each one of these, there's something different being presented. symbolically representing a different type of product. So we know that even the dynastic Egyptians were literally the first civilization that ever manufactured chemicals. For example, all the blue, as we mentioned before, is Egyptian blue, calcium, copper, silicate. And they had an industrial chemical manufacturing process to manufacture hundreds of thousands of, even imagine how much paint you would need if you've ever.
Building of this temple too. Is this the 18th dynasty also?
That's a very good question. Hey, Amr.
He said 380 BC, right?
So, what is the conventional date for this temple?
I think like from what time is that?
Yeah, so when was it built, for example?
Yeah, it is. October, let's see. This is the planet.
Let me say yes. And most of the temples like that, 90% from those great places is based on
Boy.
So the idea here they will not create a place, but usually they will add
They're so sweet.
stone and his finger.
What's its name?
These columns and Hathor.
Oh, loving on you. Babe, look at this.
Which one? The bark here?
Yeah. This is the treasury. Libation?
So one of them is harvest, one of them is libation,
Is
and
it
then the other
treasury?
two are the offering rooms. All right, so let's go in this one.
So you think, Jeff, that the decorated part of the columns came much later?
Later, yes. So again, even in like the Valley Temple, for example, there's no hieroglyphs in the Valley Temple.
Well, they must have built the roof then, all those walls later, right?
I would say so.
Let's look at the treasury room. This is known as the harvest room. It appears to be unpainted. This is known as an offering hall. See the double-fisted jug pillar and ankh? There's been some defacement here. Also appears unpainted. And the cartouche. And the cartouches are empty.
Hieroglyphs haven't been defaced, but they do have some nice pristine ones here. Inception. Ankhs and jet pillar.
Okay, so I found something pretty interesting. It's here at the foundation of the offering room. It appears that there are columns under this foundation. They're interlocking. It appears that this is evidence that the Hathor temple was built upon a far older site. And just imagine how far these columns go. That's mind-blowing.
For what?
Saying we found these?
I don't know, you found them. I don't know what it is. So this here, these flower-like shapes,
Yeah.
are under the floor.
Yes.
Were these pushed in here?
No. It's a foundation. It's the other building down.
Yeah.
The older layers comes down.
Yeah.
So sometimes we read the hieroglyphs around that I built the monuments, and other one says that I restored the monuments.
Restored it, yeah.
Exactly. So the oldest become like a foundation down. So those, what you can see here, they are the top of the crowns, the top of the columns, become down. So we need actually to continue the excavation down to know which time it's dating back.
Interesting.
Just how old?
Yeah. Well, so this is the top of a pillar. You can see this one has hieroglyphs carved on it.
And that's a flower column.
Yeah, these are flower columns. And these are supporting what you're currently standing on. So what appears to be a floor is actually a floor and a ceiling.
There are other temples like this, no?
Yeah.
I think in Aspera somewhere where we go on the ferry boat.
And this is, again, as I was saying about the Hathor temple that they discovered at Mount Sinai. They didn't find the tons, I think it was 50 tons of white powder that was discovered at the temple. They didn't find it until they removed the floor. So they started hauling out the blocks that made up the floor, and they found this white material buried under the floor.
Do you think there's also a possibility it could be like, you know, don't they use something like that in construction to like level the ground or something like that?
Sir,
Because that's a lot of, if it was like a...
it was tons.
Tons, like by weight?
Tons by weight. And again, Petrie was very specific that he said it was pure white ash.
Also, do you have an idea of why this is inset like this? Like just this specific. And there's like some weird like blocks, kind of like the Sphinx Temple that curve around.
Oh yeah, these ones up here, yeah.
I'm sorry, if you will look.
This is known as the libation room. This is another offering room. This time it's painted. These ankhs are without arms, which is different than the other offering room.
That's it right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Empty cartouche.
Your quote-unquote melted staircase. And some of you are going to be very, very disappointed when I present my final conclusion and analysis about this.
Look at those massive housings. Just imagine the size of the door. You can see how the temple is illuminated with the apertures in the ceiling. Strain apparatus. It looks like perhaps a pipe. Straight ahead, Geoffrey is examining the quote-unquote melted stairs made of sandstone. What's over here? Oh, another staircase. Let's have a closer look. Now these are made of sandstone. First impression, this is from where? I don't see any indication on the walls that it's been melted.
And trust me, I wanted it to be something different. I thought maybe that there had been a spill of caustic chemicals, or maybe it looked like geopolymer that had been poured and didn't dry and set correctly. But I can tell you, looking at these things firsthand, it's just natural weathering. I hate to break it to you, and I know some of you are going to argue and be very disappointed at that explanation. There's absolutely zero quote-unquote melting, and this is another one of those unfortunate myths that are perpetuated in the lost ancient high technology community that's some sort of evidence of nuclear warfare and blah blah blah. Nope. It's just some weathered, very, very ancient stairs. There's Alexa taking a close look as well. Did you see the other side?
I didn't get to yet.
All right.
But this, it looks like natural wear to me.
Yeah.
It's made of sandstone, right?
Sandstone. It's all sandstone.
Which is very soft.
Very soft.
Just think
And
of.
we were looking at the pictures from the marble staircase at the Leaning Tower of Pisa. So
We're now in the sanctuary, the inner sanctum. On the floor you can see housings where something was extracted. Something precious. See the 7 gates? Certainly looks like a portal.
Alright, so we're going to go up this way in just a minute. We'll save the staircase for when we come back up to the roof, and we'll go up this way and then down the other way so they can see both of them. But just so you can get a quick look at it, we'll go up there. Here it is. The beginning of the melted staircase. So and you'll see the images of this bark on the wall. And there's also housings here in the floor. I do believe that these are original and were made to lock something into place in the center of the room. Like just inclusions in the sandstone. So that there's like little pieces of iron and all sorts of stuff that are just natural inclusions in the sandstone. But if that is a piece of iron, yeah, I would say those are.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying about the housings, like it's in the same.
Yeah, like something was locked into the floor for sure.
Right.
And then we do the same ritual again.
Down into the crypt.
Now we'll explore the crypt and the flame room. Beautiful door. The Uriah. Look at that. Let's take a look. How cool is this? Rickety stairs. Small chamber.
Yep. It appears that there's several of those.
It's tiny, but highly decorated. You can see the winged Isis.
People crawl or climb into any little hole.
I'm small enough. Come up here with me.
Come on.
All right. Cut. All right. We're gonna descend into the crypt, and apparently the Dendera lights are there, so let's go. Looks like we're gonna have to crawl a little bit.
Yeah, so as Alexa was saying, this is one of the crypts that is located here in the Dendera Temple Complex. So this is the area of the structure where the so-called Dendera light bulb is located. And this is the part that you probably don't see on any other channels. I had no idea it was like this to get down there.
Me neither. Do you want a light?
Go ahead. Okay. Let the people see what it's like.
Oh, this is so cool.
So I'm on my knees here. Okay. Okay.
So there are 11 crypts here at Dendera that they know of. Uh-oh, malfunction? Here they're holding cisterns.
So we just came in from there. So dead end passage there where Alexa is. Okay, it is.
Well, that's interesting. There it is. Here is one of 3 motives. And through the modern lens, it looks very much like a light bulb or some sort of electrical apparatus. But the symbolism is thought to represent Horus as a serpent in an embryonic sac emanating from a lotus. Supported by a jet pillar here with 2 raised arms. What's your initial impression?
I'll reserve comment.
It's another snake emanating from a lotus. Geoffrey was just pointing out this looks like Naboo, hieroglyphic for gold.
Series of light bulbs, quote unquote light bulbs. I have this one here. And then there are 2 depicted over here.
Okay. Take a look at the Dendera lights.
Okay.
Symbol of Naboo everywhere. Holding Sistra.
questions. And I want to make sure that I accurately describe everything that we're seeing here. Because I don't think it's a light bulb. I disagree with that for a number of reasons. So first, can you tell me what this is?
Like, I'll try to explain.
Yes.
But first, none of academic gives us an explanation for it.
Okay, okay.
ماشي.
So clearly there's a vessel here.
Exactly.
And this
the
is
water comes out of it.
something being poured, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So is this Naboo?
Nibu, mesh, that's
Okay.
right. And this is the same thing as with the necklace. It's like a magic thing. Usually the kings wear and the gods.
Okay.
And then we have the 4 columns of Hathor.
Okay.
Above the head, we can see the entrance of her temple. And then something comes out of this vessel to that place, to the Dendera place. It's all about the magic thing, actually, because here we can see a bark and then a disc on it.
Okay.
So that can be like energy or something like that comes direct on that place.
Okay. Okay.
Sort of that things.
Okay. So this here, you think that's original?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
Yes.
No.
Right.
But what we can see here, the disc and then the park.
Okay. Okay.
And it's about the energy.
Now, is that your interpretation or the conventional interpretation?
And this is what I have heard.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now, so again, we have the Naboo occurring over and over again, gold.
Yeah.
Here, the lotus. The snake is coming out of the lotus,
Yes.
but there's no bulb
Mesh.
around it.
Mesh.
Okay, so what is the interpretation of this part here?
It's representation for the life.
Life. Okay,
Yes.
snake being life.
It's a symbol of the creation, the symbol of every living things. And the lotus, it is the source of the life.
Okay.
That's how we explain that one. This is the lotus.
Okay.
And that goes like immunity sac or something like that. And then the serpent, the life of everything, it's here.
Yes.
On that immunity sac.
Okay.
And they call it lamp because of that jet pillar.
Yes.
The backbone of Osiris comes like electricity tower
Yes.
in both sides. So we got many reliefs like that one. Like the serpent comes out of the lotus flower. But first time we see something like that.
Okay.
And the glyphs around doesn't explain what we see.
Okay.
It's different thing.
Okay.
And it's repeated as well.
Okay. But again, keep seeing gold.
Nepal.
Gold. Gold.
That's right.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's still all mysterious things. It's a symbolic, and we are trying to understand what does it mean.
Right.
Academic usually depend on the hieroglyphs around, but the hieroglyphs it's just prayers. It doesn't explain what we see.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What's it?
This flower, the snake coming out of it. Here, there is no enclosure around the snake. Enclosure. And the snake being supported by this jed pillar. But over here, it's not the same. Each one of these is different. so here on this one, you can see that the arms are supporting the snake itself. Okay. Base of the pillar, the two arms supporting the snake. On this one, the jet pillar, the two arms in a completely different configuration, supporting this enclosure. Here, which is Nabu, the symbol for gold. So there's an inscription for gold associated with all of these hieroglyphic depictions. Go ahead.
Thanks, Helen. Thank you.
All right, so I wanted to closely examine the series of hieroglyphs and symbols that lead us into the area that features this quote-unquote Dendera light bulb series. This one I find to be pretty interesting. There's a vessel here. Pouring or emanating something into these containers. You see a lotus here, with the snake coming out of it. You can see the lotus on this flower, with the snake coming out of it. Here, there is no enclosure around the snake, which is Nabu, the symbol for gold. So there's an inscription for gold associated with all of these hieroglyphic depictions. Go ahead.
Thanks, Helen. Thank you.
This one doesn't have it at all. And these are two completely different configurations. This one is clearly, this one represents Osiris creating balance and stability, is the conventional interpretation. Balance and stability of the creative life force of the universe, perhaps even representing the universe itself, with the snake, which is the life embryonic sac. It could be, again, just a representation of the entire
Okay, we're gonna exit the crypt.
And then the other one is straight, we go down. Okay. Okay. You want to take the front.
All right, so here we go. This is a spiral staircase. We're here. Gradual weathering of the staircase. People never show this area. They only show the area.
On the ceiling is Nut. And she is arced over Hathor. Look at the solar rays illuminating her. And these looks like a coral or some sort of energy emanating from the bark. I'm in a very peculiar chamber. Around me are symbols that don't look like your usual hieroglyphics. They look Mesoamerican.
Yeah, I'm gonna push this down.
Oh, this is sick.
Yes, where's this circular zodiac? On the ceiling. I mean, on the roof. Not yet, no. Okay.
That's the famous reason for the
Yeah, it's on the roof.
The temple with the thing around.
That's so sick.
So this is literally a self-contained unit within the arch. Yeah. You can see
They're sitting on top of jet pillars.
all the way to the roof. So it's a separate enclosure. So Jacob, I think it is. And you see how this is shining and seeing it, people touching it, where this still has the regular, I think that may just be.
Here we have Hathor and her sistrum headdress in between two winged Isis. This one's a lot easier to tear up. Nice butt.
It's just the entrance, you need just to crawl, and then you can stand. Inside, we're having the most beautiful view of the Garden Hathor carving. Oh shit.
But something interesting about Hathor.
Okay, I'm gonna crawl through this tiny hole. Let's see what we find.
Something that's interesting about Hathor, she always has this gate or this portal at the top of the symbol.
Thank you.
So clearly Hathor has something to do with access
To eternal life.
through the portal, through the gate. Again, typically these false doors are representing the pathway into the afterlife. But this isn't a burial. There's no burials here. This is a temple of knowledge. So perhaps through the initiation into the mysteries here in the Hathor Temple, you could gain access into a higher state of consciousness. This is an unusual glyph that I've never seen before. This is, oh, it's actually 3. I thought this was 1. But this is a very unusual series of hieroglyphs here. I've never seen this before.
Which one?
This here.
Oh.
But they went through a lot of effort to relief carve all of these images.
Yes.
Now, the question remains, how was this done? In my opinion, the stones were carved first and then set into place, which goes to a level of planning of all of this, which is pretty mind-blowing. The conventional story would say that the stones were set into place first and then carved later. But again, all of this relief carved, so you have to remember the stone had another inch on it, and they removed all of this to then expose the reliefs. And at the end, again, you ascend to that next level of consciousness through that gate of Hathor.
Okay, will you shine down this way? Thank you. I'm so glad we made it back here.
All right, go ahead.
Karakti. Had you sneezing too?
Okay, go ahead. Wouldn't be able to see anything in here, it would be completely dark. All right, I'll go last. So, this here, Horus,
Hathor system code.
this, Isis.
This looks like normal weather. You can see it turns at a 90-degree angle.
To light up.
These are made of sandstone. Just looking down. Sandstone being an incredibly soft material. Just think of how many footsteps over the many millennia. There's no erosion on the walls, like we see on the stairs. And here's the corner to the 90-degree turn. I see no evidence of melting. It's depicted as blue here. How is it up there? You go up here yet?
Here's where it's going to take us to the zodiac area. It looks very much like the Mayan Aztec calendar.
Here we have the death and resurrection of Osiris. And here's a replica of the Dendera zodiac. The original resides at the Louvre in Paris.
The glyphs and the context in which the hieroglyphs are presented.
Is this Osiris with the missing phallus?
So this is actually Hathor. You can see the breasts here, yep, and then she's standing like this.
You think it's Milky Way?
And then in this chamber we have more Osiris. So here you can see the dead Osiris here, and it's going through phases. You can see the falcon has now come here. Now he has the erect phallus. There's nothing, so it's different stages. Again, you can see Horus here. It looks like that is descending on the body. And it just goes through different stages of the death and resurrection.
So this one I noticed that is maybe the only one
That's cool.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of different representations of this. So we have the nous, the container,
Yeah.
the housing, in sort of an arc. This one is a bit more of a bark. This one here has the sistrums of Hathor. So there's a number of different configurations of this artifact represented throughout this area.
Yeah, they go all the way around. Wow.
And so again, to somebody that was initiated into how to understand this, you would start at one area and each section adds in a different layer to the process of instruction. So you're walking around, you're going through this, imagine how long this initiation process would take to walk somebody through, and you're literally, and the water, and the this and the that, and the gold, and the blah, 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 and you're reading all this stuff and explaining all this. It would take forever.
Years, yeah.
Imagine how long it took to carve it.
Here's a thought, Jeff. Could this have been carved so much because it was before the invention of papyrus? Because they didn't have any writing material to write all this stuff down. Because if you had all this writing material, why bother to carve all this nonsense?
Yeah. I would say if you have the capability of building the structure and carving this, you probably knew how to make some paper too.
Well, maybe.
But this was just more for permanence.
Maybe.
To make sure that whatever was being encoded in this temple would last forever, where they had no guarantee that the papyrus would last forever.
Well, that's true. Make even copies of papyrus. Very good copies.
Yeah, so the first time I didn't know that they were replicated. We walked around the corner and we were like, what the hell is this? And I don't know why they painted it black like that. I guess it's to represent how it looked originally when it was covered in soot before all of the restoration. All right, let's roll.
We're on our way to the rooftop of the Hathor Temple. Look at this view. Thousands of years of weathering. Now we're back on the outside. You see these lines? From the rooftop you can see the drainage holes. And this is where it terminates. Yes, I do. We're exploring inside the sacred lake.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So this appears to be connected to a subterranean source of water. This reminds me very much of what we saw at the Pyramid of Hawara.
Yes.
In the oasis. You can see that there's water filling this. So there's still a source of water underneath this temple. You want to walk down there and look?
It's exactly like Hawara.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't painted.
Just walking down in here, I get the sense that this is a much older area of the temple complex.
Here, can you flash down here?
Yep, yep.
Look at all of this pottery.
So it certainly looks like originally the water level in here would have been much higher. Basically all this white salt on the walls is indicative of a much higher water level in here. Alright, so now we're going to go check out the enclosure around the sacred lake. We kind of had to sneak back in here real quick.
I'm so glad we did.
Cameras with me. You film me, and I'll film you, your favorite adventure duo.
Team Awesome.
And we'll walk over here to this enclosure surrounding the sacred lake. All right, you first.
This is such a cool day. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh my gosh.
So this entire trip has kind of been a celebratory experience for another successful Land of Chem tour. So this area here again was known as the Sacred Lake. And you can see by the stairs that it certainly intends that people were intended to have access into this lake. I mean,
let's go down there.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. All right, you first.
Okay. Yeah, let me know. Look at these entrance.
Because I want to see what's inside of these little housings back here. Go ahead. So again, here we have some more erosion on these stairs. From people walking up and down these things. Into the water. And I'm sure having wet shoes or wet feet make the erosion much worse or much faster. And I just want to see what is inside of these little housings. Hey, you need to swap battery. Hang on one sec.
Okay.
Not even close. Red pyramid, pure chemical ammonia. Down in here, smells like rat poop. You want to go in there? Just when you walk around the corner.
I'll peek.
Just know already that there's a huge family of bats down in there. Here, take this. And shine it around the corner.
Should I be scared?
Well, you already know it's there. I didn't when I walked around the corner. And they all started flapping their wings.
I hear them chirping.
Yeah, so just look and then get the hell out of there.
Oh, holy shit.
Yeah.
So clearly, there would have been a time period where the water level in here fluctuated. So at some point it would be lower below this enclosure, at other points it would rise to where it filled the enclosure. So perhaps during the inundation of the Nile River, it would flood and fill up this entire enclosure. But then when the Nile River receded, the water level would fall, but they could still access that subterranean water through these alcoves. All sorts of critters crawling around in here.
I like lizards. I like turtle.
Yep, there's a little gecko in there. They have these really cool, same thing that we just saw, access to a subterranean water source. So they have these really cool kind of translucent orange looking lizards all around Egypt. Right, so now that we're standing here in the middle of what would have been a water-filled artificial lake, all right, let's switch cameras again. Here. All right, so now say your outro. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our expedition.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our expedition to the Dendera Temple Complex, where we investigated the anomalies in the Hathor Temple.
What she said. All right, so stay tuned for more. Please subscribe. See you next time. Masalema.
I'm so glad we went here.
If you want to help support our research and expeditions, grab some merch from the new Archaeo.alchemy store. Rock the classic logo in your favorite color combination with some beautiful alchemical prints. There are hats, mugs, hoodies, shorts, tanks, and tapestries. More designs are in the works, so stay tuned. And if you want to be the lifeblood of my channel, please become a member for early access, exclusive updates, and content. Thank you all so much. Now, back to our adventure.